As I always say, the universe is nothing but a mirror. It's going to mirror back to you and give you exactly what you believe about it. So if you're not having success with women, one of the biggest reasons, brother, I'm telling you, is your belief systems about yourself and how you relate to women. Now, in this episode, I'm going to try to give you some really good tools so you can start going after those belief systems, start removing them, because I want, just as you want, for you to get better with women, in life, with money, and to achieve your goals. And I'm going to give you some really good tools to do that. So stick with me.
The Unapologetic Man Podcast.
One of the most important things I can teach you guys, I'm going to tell you right at the beginning of this episode. Your beliefs create your behavior. So what you believe about something, particularly about approaching and attracting women, but even money, etc., create your behavior in relation to it. So if you're not having success with women, one of the biggest reasons, brother, I'm telling you, is your belief systems about yourself and how you relate to women. Now, in this episode, I'm going to try to give you some really good tools so you can start going after those belief systems, start removing them, and thus start getting better results with women. But not only that, also money, happiness, anything you want in life, you have to go for the root belief system first. And I'm going to give you some tools to do that. Guys, make sure to stay tuned until the end of the episode, because my biggest point I'm going to save until the end so you don't blow out my analytics the same way you blew your load this morning after using your Pornhub frequent masturbator platinum card. So stay until the end, gentlemen. I have some really good information to drop into your lap. Let's get into it. So the human psyche only has two primordial emotions. I'm going to give you a hint of the first one. The first one is love. So one of them is love. What do you think the other one is? Now, I asked this to one of my clients the other day, and he said, well, obviously it's hate, but that isn't true. A lot of you guys got the correct answer, and that's right. It's fear. So the only two core emotions that all your belief systems come out of are either love or fear. Let's think about this. Love creates the belief systems that I'm enough. I am a champion. I am a girl magnet. I am a money magnet. Love creates enthusiasm, passion, courage, tenacity. Fear, on the other hand, creates belief systems such as, I'm not enough. She'd be better with that other guy. You shouldn't approach people. Don't rock the boat. She's not going to like you anyway. She probably has a boyfriend. I'm better off alone, masturbating in a puddle of my own tears in the corner as I wear a helmet and hit my fucking head against the wall. Fear is also responsible for things like jealousy, anger, cowardice, which unfortunately a lot of us experience in life. Now, once again, boys, I have to reiterate, stay tuned until the end, because my final point is going to make you feel better about all this. Because right now, you're looking inside yourself and you might be saying, yeah, man, like I don't feel like I'm enough. I do have low self-esteem and insecurities. God damn it. And you're going to start hating on yourself. But don't do that, because my final point, I feel like my final point is going to make you feel good and once again, give you the tools to get through this. So stick with me, man. If you really want to improve yourself, don't click away to go look at hot girls on Instagram. Like, let's get deep into this and really try to help you, because I want, just as you want, for you to get better with women, in life, with money, and to achieve your goals. And I'm going to give you some really good tools to do that. So stick with me. So we have the two primordial emotions, love and fear. All your belief systems come from them. And as you should know by now, as I've talked about many times throughout this podcast, but you should also just know generally, your belief systems are creating your reality. So whatever you think, whatever you say, whatever you do, it puts out energy into the universe, and that energy comes back to you. As I always say, the universe is nothing but a mirror. It's going to mirror back to you and give you exactly what you believe about it. So if you believe that you're not enough, you are inadvertently putting that out there, and it's coming back to you with evidence that you are not enough. So if you believe you're not good with women, you just effectively shot yourself in the foot with women. You are going to create evidence to substantiate that belief system. Now that begs the question, well, if I understand, and most of you guys do understand, that your belief systems are creating negative results, then why the hell would you hold on to them? Me as a dating coach, I ask that all the time. Like, why are guys insisting on holding on to them? And because of that, I've done a lot of research on this. There's actually three core reasons you hold on to them. The first reason is that beliefs want to survive, just like every other entity in the universe wants to survive. So when you have a belief system, it wants to stay in place inside your head. And what it'll do is it's going to create situations in your life to substantiate its existence. Let me explain. So if once again, you believe that you're not enough and you're not good with women, That belief system is going to make you behave in a way where you are not good with women and women are going to reject you. When women reject you, you're going to say, oh, that belief system is correct, further ensconcing it, if that's even a word, which means embedding it into your subconscious mind. I'm not enough. Look at all the evidence. Girls reject me. They're not attracted to me. I asked that girl out the other day and she said, no, she has a boyfriend. I'm not enough. And then once again, bro, you go get your Pornhub frequent masturbator platinum card, put on your helmet, watch porn and masturbate as you hit your head against the wall. I don't want that for you. And I know you don't want that either. So stick with me. I'm going to give you the tools. The second reason why it's not so easy to get rid of beliefs is because every belief you have comes with it, the belief that it's good for you. Let me explain. So if you believe that you're not good with women, there's actually a belief behind the belief that you getting good with women will make your life worse than the way it is now. So you may believe on some level, if you get in a relationship with a girl, she's just going to fucking stab you in the back, as many women do, and guys do it too. We're humans. We're all fallible. But you've probably had experiences in the past where getting involved with women, and this is just an example, getting involved with women results in negative outcomes. So you've convinced yourself that you're not good with women or you're better off without them so that you can avoid those negative circumstances. Every belief carries with it the unconscious belief that it's good for you. Yeah, boys, even somebody who's homeless has the belief system that that's the best thing for them because, and this is just an assumption, if they get a house, what if they lose the house? And literally, boys, this is how the human mind works. Think about this. You got somebody who's homeless, sleeping on the streets, and I don't know about you, I'm in Colorado. It gets fucking cold at night. They're freezing their asses off under some bridge with trains going over it. And they have a belief system that, well, if I get my shit together and get a house, I might lose that house and become homeless. So I'm going to stay homeless. See how illogical that is? Yet, because the belief system wants to survive, it's very convincing. It creates the situation to substantiate it. Maybe before they did get a house, and maybe they were kicked out because they couldn't get a job, because they couldn't get their ID, which is a huge problem for the homeless people. They get all their shit stolen, they lose their ID, and then you have to have an ID to get an ID. Have you guys ever heard about this? Or you have to have a birth certificate, yet all their shit was stolen. So these poor people can't get IDs. Now, obviously, a lot of them are drug addicts, but even drug addicts, look at this, it's super simple. I would rather be on the drug because getting off the drug is going to be more painful than being on the drug. Very simple. So they stay on the drug and say, yeah, I'll get sober in like 6 months. I'm just going to ride this out for a while. The belief system wants to survive. It will create situations in your life that prove it is true, quote unquote. And secondly, every belief system comes with it, the unconscious belief that it's good for you, which is insane. Now, the third reason is about brain chemistry. You literally have pathways through your brain that belief systems travel down. It's like synapses that travel down this road. Well, if you believe over and over again, I'm not enough, or money's hard to get, or girls don't like me, that belief system has created a trail in your brain, kind of like a trail through a forest that deer will walk on, and you'll see like game trails that are clear of debris and easy to travel down. So it's literally easier for the synapses to go down that pathway, and therefore the belief stays in place. Because making the new belief, such as I am enough, or money's easy to get, or I can find housing and get off the streets once and for all, that's covered over with brush and it's hard to go down. It doesn't feel right. This is why sometimes it feels good to be negative. And you guys have all experienced this because it's familiar. Most times the mind would rather go down a familiar pathway than one that is unfamiliar simply because it's comfortable. So 3 of the biggest reasons belief systems stay in place is because they want to survive. Unconsciously, they think they're good for you, and neural pathways going through your brain. Now we're going to get into why that belief system exists in the first place. And stick with me. This is all pertinent to you getting over these bad belief systems. Belief systems get put in place usually within the first 7 years of your life. In the first 7 years of your life, you're actually in a mild state of hypnosis. So if your dad accidentally, or perhaps on purpose, said to you, oh, you're stupid, that shit gets ensconced very quickly. And unfortunately, negative belief systems often take hold easier than positive belief systems because they're really painful and it creates a big scar on our unconscious. So your dad says a couple times when you're 3, 5, and 6 years old, oh, you're not very smart. Or that's okay. You're a Singh, right? You're in the Singh family. You're just born not very smart, which is literally told to me. And I had to work hard to get rid of that shit. And oftentimes we will believe the negative belief system simply to get into rapport with the person who said it. Hear me out. So if your dad said you're stupid, you would rather buy into his belief system to get into rapport with him because him taking care of you is more essential for your survival than you having good belief systems. So we will oftentimes just adopt what our family tells us or our teachers tell us. Or, and this is true for a lot of you guys, you're watching movies when you're 7 years old and it's a movie about, let's say, a fat kid. The fat kid goes to school, he gets bullied, he doesn't get the girl, he gets rejected, and the jock on the football team gets all the chicks. So you believe if I'm not a jock, if I'm not 6'2" and completely ripped, if I'm not making six figures, I'm not going to get the girl. Guys, media is written by dudes who don't pull chicks, who are just further embedding those negative belief systems into our subconscious mind. I have clients who come into the program all the time who are fat, ugly, bald, Asian, Indian, whatever excuse you have. And I remove those belief systems and they suddenly start pulling girls. Why? Because your belief systems dictate your behavior. Your behavior is all that matters to women. They don't fucking care what you look like. They don't care how much money you make. They don't care what your history is, what school you went to, or what job you have. They care how you make them feel, and they care how confident you are and how much you believe in yourself. Look at that word, believe in yourself. So if I can remove belief systems from your brain and put in positive belief systems, you will behave differently and you will start getting girls. I have an Asian dude in my program right now. He's 5'4", and he always says, I'm 5'4.5". The half is really important. He is starting to pull girls simply because he's changing beliefs about himself. And that's literally all it takes. Now, a quick side note about this, and this is really interesting, is that people who complain a lot, you know, those like Karens who try to correct everybody's behavior or get pissed off about the weather or just complain about anything to complain about. They always have those like short haircuts that are like bleached and kind of spiky. And you see like a table of 5 of them and you're like, I feel bad for that waiter, dude. He's going to have a hard session right now. That's because, in my opinion, when we're infants, we cry and we basically put negativity, quote unquote, out there to get what we want. So when you want something, you basically complain, you cry, you whine, don't you? Well, in my opinion, these people never evolved out of that infant state of wanting. Their parents never told them, dude, stop whining. You're not going to get what you want if you keep whining. Which, by the way, boys, I strongly suggest to you fathers out there, you have to nip whining in the butt ASAP, as I do with my kid. But they were never told whining doesn't get you what you want. So they have the belief system that it does get you what you want. So they go through life complaining about things. They go through life whining the woe's me. And what happens? Their life fucking sucks. They always have negativity coming back to them because, guys, it's a simple rule of the universe. You put negativity out there, it is going to come back to you. Same with the road rage guy. He thinks that by being angry, he literally believes that his anger is going to change the situation, but it never changes the situation. In most cases, it makes it worse. And even if it does temporarily change it, eventually, through the law of attraction, he's going to get anger coming back to him. I used to have an angry friend who had a really deep belief system that he was a victim. And we would go out into the nightclubs and this guy would always get in fights. And usually it would be guys hitting him over the head with something. And this guy would be getting in fights all the time. And eventually I told him, I'm like, bro, it's because you're so negative. Like you're so angry all the time. Of course, people are going to resonate with that energy and throw it back at you. And he's like, yeah, but life is fucking hell, dude. Like life is suffering. And I'm like, that's the belief system. You believe that. If you believe life is suffering and life is hell, you will experience hell. If you believe, on the other hand, that you have the wherewithal and strength and you have the soul within you to overcome any challenges, and in fact, they make you better, then your life will be heaven. In my belief, heaven and hell don't exist. They're right here on earth and they're derived by your belief systems. Now, what I've been doing through this episode is I've been working on you. I've actually embedded some commands in there that if you go back, you might hear them. You probably won't, but I've been working on you a little bit. But here's the thing. Awareness alone is curative. So just by listening and having an open mind, which hopefully a lot of you guys have had, you have been already changing and already shining light on the fact that your negative belief systems are not good for you. So why the fuck are you keeping them? because they were usually your dads, your coaches, your moms, your brothers. They're not yours, brother. So drop them. How do you drop them? The same way you drop a large sack of potatoes that you've been carrying around, you simply decide to drop it. Now, oftentimes, there's a belief behind the belief, and this is where I want to give you guys some tools. So first of all, you have to understand that all negative emotions are created by negative belief systems. So the next time you're feeling down, like moody, stop for a second and analyze what belief system created this, and you'll usually be able to find it. Then what you do is you look for the belief system behind the belief system, what I call the sponsoring thought. The sponsoring thought always comes from fear when it's negative, as I said at the top of the show. So if you're out at the nightclub and you're just feeling bad, you might be like, why am I feeling bad, man? Like there's music going on. I have a drink, like my friends are here. Oh, it's because I don't like nightclubs. Well, wait a minute. Is it because I don't like nightclubs, or is it because I fear something is going to happen at the nightclub? Let me see here. When I was in college, I went to a nightclub and I was rejected really badly by 3 girls who told me to f off. And boys, that literally happened to me. So I have a belief system that nightclubs are dangerous. Why are they dangerous? Because I'm going to get rejected by girls. Well, why is that dangerous? Because if they reject me, it might annihilate my self-esteem and bring me even further down into the dumps. So my belief system of nightclubs are horrible and I don't like being here derives from me trying to protect myself. But you have to understand that that belief system of girls rejecting you and getting dragged into the dumps is derived because you have another belief system that what they think actually fucking matters. I had another client in the coaching call last night be like, dude, now that I don't care what people think of me, I'm free. And I was like, bro, how's freedom? He's like, oh, it's amazing. It feels so good to not give a shit what people think. Why? Because now he's internally validated. He only cares what he thinks of himself. And I'll tell you this, when he goes to approach a woman, he doesn't care what she says. He cares that he had the courage to approach her. What's courage? Love of self. And that's where I'm trying to get you guys to. If you can fall in love with yourself, girls will fall in love with you too, because that's love. That's courage. That's enthusiasm. That's passion. So when I go up to a girl, I don't give a shit what she thinks because it's about what I think of myself. And I'm proud of myself for approaching that girl. But unfortunately, a lot of you guys don't have that belief system. You believe that what she thinks actually matters because honestly, and I don't want you to get butthurt, but just hear me out. You're in your feminine energy. You care too much about external validation. I will fucking remove that from your head like a splinter from your brain. In fact, boys, just to give precedence to how powerful the NLP that I do really is, I'm going to give you a quick recording of a client who's saying how much success he's had in this program. I don't know if he says it on the call, but he's basically dating 8 girls when he had zero when he came into the program. 8 girls, boys. And most of his questions now are like, how do I deal with these chicks? And I'm like, 8's a lot. Well, what you do is you get rid of a couple because that's a lot of fucking work. But he is so pumped because he had the courage to remove his belief systems. After we go through this call, we're going to wrap this up with a few more tools. And then we're going to wrap it up with my final point, which you guys definitely want to hear. Check this out, boys. Check out what Charles says.
This program has just made an incredible difference in my life. It's just so amazing to know that if I ever needed to, I could just drop everything, drop all the girls that I'm talking to, and then pick it all up again in a matter of a couple weeks. I'm off of the dating apps now, and so being able to organically just go out to social events and stuff and talk to girls, it's just so liberating. It's amazing. I'm talking to and dating about 8 or 9 girls right now. I've got 5 dates with different girls in the next 5 days. Extremely grateful for the program that you created. It's just made such a difference in my life.
Thank you for that, Charles. I super appreciate you. And you two boys can get those results too. To talk to me about joining us in my 3-month coaching program, put in your application below. We are not high pressure. In fact, we have more applicants than spots available. I just want to talk to you, man. And if you think it's about the money, that's a belief system, isn't it? Now you're telling me it's not a belief system. I don't have the money. Yeah, but you have a belief system that you can't get the money. You have a belief system that it won't show up for you, as it always seems to do with guys who come into my program. I get told all the time, I didn't think I can afford this, but I pulled the fucking trigger anyway because I really wanted to fix myself. And then suddenly money showed up. That's what happens when you bet on yourself. The universe says, oh yeah, you're going to bet on yourself? Take this, because you're putting the message out there that you will change. It will get better. And the universe says, that's right. It is going to change. It is going to get better. Here's a stack of hundreds to help you through your development, brother. I'm telling you, boys, that's how it works. But you're going to do what you're going to do. The way I think of it is, guys who don't apply are coming from a fear-based mentality. I can't do this, or it's not going to work for me, or you've been robbed by coaches in the past. Look at my testimonials. I am not that dude. I care about my guys. I come from love. And that's why I have a 95% success rate and a 100% guarantee. You will stay with us until you 10x your results with women. You literally can't lose. So sign up today and let's talk. All right, guys, a few final points. So it's your job to investigate your negative belief systems and question them. Oftentimes questioning them is enough to remove them. Now, sometimes they're so entrenched, or there's so many negative belief systems in the forest of your unconscious mind that you need intrusive work to get rid of them, which of course is where my NLP comes in. But oftentimes awareness alone is curative. So you hearing my argument, you hearing what I'm saying, you hearing that belief systems are just BS, bullshit, that were given to you before you could defend yourself from them, is sometimes enough to remove them completely. But you have to identify them. What am I afraid of here? Why is it trying to protect me? Is that really going to protect me? Probably not. Once you realize that, you can oftentimes drop it, like you drop a heavy sack of potatoes. Now, my final point, and this is what I want you guys to really hear. Did you hear about that dude who free soloed up that really tall building in Taipei? I think it was called like Taipei 1 or something like that. His name is Alex Honnold. He seems like a really cool guy. He just seems like a really humble dude who free solos, which basically means climbs without ropes. So he did El Capitan, like one of the hardest parts of El Capitan, and he called one of the parts the complication or the problem or something like that. And it's this really difficult part where you have to like put your thumb in this little fucking hole. And mind you, he has no ropes on and he's thousands of feet above the ground. Put your thumb in this hole, put your big toe in this hole, and then basically like jump up to this rock. Insane shit. So he called that the problem or the complication. And I got to thinking about this and I thought, this is a lot like life. If we don't have problems or complications, if we don't have challenges, which is the very challenge that you have right now, right? Negative belief systems. If you didn't have those challenges, you wouldn't have the opportunity to overcome them. You wouldn't have the opportunity to grow. So the whole purpose of life is for you to have those negative belief systems. You're not supposed to be born into this world perfect. You're not supposed to go through this life without any problems whatsoever, because your soul would not evolve unless the problems happen. Here's how it was explained to me. We have two primordial emotions, right? Love and fear. Well, apparently your soul is pure love. You incarnate into this world in order to experience the opposite of love, which is fear, so that you can wake up to what you really are. Because we can know ourselves as love, but until we experience the opposite of love, we can't really know what love is, right? I can't know forgiveness unless I got stabbed in the back by my best friend when I was 25, when it turned out he was doing drugs and I gave him 13 grand and he basically took it from me. Long story, but I've forgiven him since then. I believe that that opportunity was presented to me in order to forgive him. Thus, my soul grew. So if you can slightly get on board with this, at the very minimum, understanding that challenges make you grow, and without the challenges, you wouldn't have growth. You wouldn't have exaltation, enthusiasm, because how good does it feel to grow to that next level? Like my guy, Charles, he's dating 8 girls right now where he had 0 before. How good does that feel? If he came out of the womb a girl magnet, just getting girls and waking up in the castle, as it were, it wouldn't have been nearly as exciting, nearly as gratifying. So I want you guys to take that with you today. Yeah, you have negative belief systems. Yeah, you're getting some bad results. You're not where you want to be, but it's good because you get to rise above them and feel the exaltation of doing so. And you get to experience what you are not, which is a guy who struggles with women. That's not really what you are. To wake up to what you really are, which is a girl magnet. All of you guys are supposed to be girl magnets. It's only your belief systems that are holding you back. If you're not getting the women you want, the money you want, anything else you don't want, it's always derived of a belief system. So examine those belief systems, look at them and say, dude, why did I choose this? I don't want to think this way anymore, and make yourself believe what you want to believe. Here's a final thought that I really love. I love this quote. Don't believe everything you think. So if you think something, be like, well, why do I believe that? Who gave that to me? Oh, that was my dad's belief. Why the fuck am I taking on this guy's belief? Let me just drop that and have a better belief. Then your behavior changes. Then your results change, especially with women. To wrap up this episode, I want to thank all you guys for all your support about my broken hip. Some of you may not have heard, but I broke my hip on January 3rd. I haven't been able to walk for, it's 7 weeks now. So last Tuesday, I went to the doctor. He said that my bone was healing at an amazing rate because I put belief systems into it. I'm a good healer. I'm healing quickly. I did that for literally 6 weeks. And he's like, dude, I cannot believe how fast your bone healed. So he gave me 50% weight bearing, which means I could stand on 2 legs. And on Tuesday, the day that you're hearing this, I'm finally going to be allowed to walk again. So right now, as you're listening to this, I'm probably at the PT and she's teaching me how to walk with a cane. I'm going to walk with the cane for a couple weeks and then I'm going to be back in action. And this whole time I've been thinking this challenge was sent to me so I can overcome it. And honestly, it's been pretty great, man. I've really made some good achievements as far as my fear of doctors, my fear of surgery, my fear of not being able to walk. I've risen above all that stuff and have become better because of it. And that's how you have to look at life. Challenges are there for our growth, so honor them. Do not spite them because that's just shooting yourself in the foot. I've actually been going around in the supermarkets with those little like buggies that you could drive. You know, those obese people at Walmart that always have those little carts that they drive with the big basket on the front. So I've been driving those at Walmart, Whole Foods, and Sprouts, and I've been approaching girls on them. I'll pull up and I'll be like, hey, real quick, grab me that suit from up there, would you? And I'll start talking to them. See, guys, it's all in your mind. There's only the limitation that you believe is a limitation. Once you get rid of that shit, your life changes forever. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. I got an awesome one coming up on Tuesday. It's how to deal with people who are trying to frame control you, especially guys, and how to use a tactic I created called technique calling in order to put them in their place when they're trying to AMOG you, alpha male of the group, trying to punk you. As I know a lot of you guys fear, because you have a belief system that you're not enough, so other guys are better than you, and you're going in behaving that way, and that's oftentimes why we attract AMOG. So I'm going to give you some really good techniques and tools to use. Stay tuned for next Tuesday. Gentlemen, I super appreciate you listening, and I will see you in the next episode. What is up, brother? Just wanted to thank you sincerely for watching this episode. If you've gotten any value whatsoever out of my content, the single best way to help me is to like, comment, subscribe, leave me a review. You have no idea how much that helps me. Also, if you're struggling with women and you want to talk to me personally about how I can help you achieve your goals with women, sign up for my 3-month coaching program below and you and I will talk. Join us in the Unapologetic Army.